Okay, so today in this lesson we're going to be looking at area and perimeter of a sector. So a sector is pretty much a section of a circle, shaped section of a circle. Okay, so if you break up a circle and we've got two sections, you can see if you have, they say you've got a this smaller section. So here they'll call it a minor sector. So, and then they call the larger section the major sector. Okay, so if one piece is bigger than the other, it becomes a major sector, and that's minor. Alright, so we are going to use a couple of different formulas. So first of all, if we're looking to find the area of a sector, we're going to use this formula here. Okay, so we can see a few new maybe little symbols here. Now here they're talking about the angle. So you're going to be told how much of the circle you have in terms of degrees. So if you do a full lap or full circle like that, we have 360 degrees. So they might say, if I said this little part in here might only be 20 degrees. 20 of it. So if you said the minor sector is 20 degrees, then the major sector would have been 360 minus 20, which would be 340 degrees. All right, so they're going to give you an angle to use. And we're going to find, when they're trying to find the area, we're going to say how much of the circle we've got, so 3 over 360, times pi. So remember, pi is a little button on our calculator, and then we've got radius squared. Now remember, the radius is from the center out to the edge. That's the radius. So we've got area of a sector equals pi, the angle size over 360 times pi times the radius squared. Okay, now if we're trying to find the perimeter of a sector, so if you think about it, down here, if I had a circle, but then we said we're going to cut out a sector, so we're going to cut out a little piece of it and say find the perimeter of that section. So we have to remember we have a little bit of the circumference. So we've got, which is the length around the edge of a circle. But then we also have these two bits here that edge it off. So here, if I look over here, they've drawn it there, and they become the radius because they're going from the center of the circle out to the edge. So we've got two of them. So you can see that is written in the formula for the perimeter. Now for this blue bit, when we just want the edge of that section, that's a certain amount. So a certain amount out of the full circle times the circumference. Because remember, we said that the edge of a circle is called the perimeter of a circle is called the circumference. So right here, they have just used the circumference formula, which is 2 times pi times r. And we like to use the 2 times pi times r so that we can use all the letter, the same letter, because we've got radius here already. So we like to use that. So if you're going to find the perimeter of a sector, so that means the total outside of this shape. So I mean, if we're finding the perimeter of this whole shape, the formula is going to be 2r, 2 times the radius, plus how much of the circle you've got over 360 times 2 times the pi times the r. Alright, so let's go give that a practice. So it says calculate, and we have to be really careful to make sure we're using the right formulas and we're answering that question correctly. So calculate the area of the figure on the right. So you can see it is, we hopefully can see it's a sector. So we need to know how much angle we have, and they've put it there so we know that the angle is 90 degrees because they've used that thing. And I can also see here they've given me the radius. So the radius equals 11. Okay, so we're going to go find the area of a sector. So we'll write down our formula. So area equals what we have over 360 times pi r squared. So in my question here, I've got 90 over 360 times pi r squared. So I might change the r now to what it is, times 11 squared. So you can pop that on your calculator. If you noticed and you said that this was a quarter of a circle, that will still work as well, because 90 over 360 simplifies down to a quarter. So that's fine as well. So we'll do that. So I'm going to put the answer up here. So area equals, so it said up here, I'm checking one decimal place. So I'm going to go 95.0 to my one decimal place. And then this was in centimetres. So area is centimetres squared. So there's my final answer. All right, looking at the next one, we've got calculate the perimeter of the sector shown. So remember, we want this whole edging there. So first we should write the formula. So perimeter of a sector equals 2r plus how much of the circle we've got times the circumference formula, which is 2 pi r. Okay, so once we've written that out, we're going to substitute in what we know. So over here, I can see from the center to the edge, the radius is 3. So I've got 2 times 3 plus, and they've told me how much. I've got 80 out of the 360 times 2 times pi times 3. So if you type it out correctly in your calculator, it shall give you the correct answer. Okay, so I end up with one decimal place again. So 10.2. This is just perimeter, so it'll just be centimeters. And I'll put the answer there.